Indian Air Force sends stern warning to China. There is an uneasy calm at the line of actual control, LAC, where India and China are locked in a standoff. Top officials tell the uncensored news channel that there has been no incident, but fears of a spark owing to misunderstanding are not being ruled out. Currently there is an uneasy calm, the official also said. The situation remains unpredictable as hundreds of troops are at a close proximity. This has made the situation volatile, sources also say. The official further noted that there has been no scale and down, and if this were to happen then there needs to be an engagement at the top level. The official also added that India was not rushing things, but also added that India will not provide China a face-saver even if it does not want a costly conflict. India and China will hold the 7th round of military commander-level talks next week. Incidentally, these rounds of talks would last for Lieutenant Gen Harinder Singh. Lieutenant General P.G.K. Menon will take over the Fire and Fury Corps on October 14. The Fire and Fury Corps is responsible for the operations in Ladakh. Lieutenant Gen Menon is currently posted as the additional director of the Complaint Advisor Board at the Army headquarters. Earlier this week, both India and China have emphasized on the need to strengthen communication, especially between the ground commanders. Both sides reviewed the current situation along the line of actual control, LAC, in the India-China border areas. The two sides also had detailed and frank discussions on the developments. The Indian Air Force is very well positioned to take on China along the border in eastern Ladakh, where troops of both countries have been locked in a 5-month-long standoff, Air Chief Marshal RKS Bhadauria said on Monday. We are very well positioned. There is no question that in any conflict scenario, China can get the better of us, Bhadauria said while addressing a media conference in New Delhi ahead of Air Force Day on October 8. He, however, acknowledged that India was not underestimating the adversary. Their strength lies in the surface-to-air systems they have put up in the area. They have long missile systems. We cater to those in our matrix. We can take on that threat, the IAF chief said. Asked about the possibility of a two-front war, Bhadauria said that amid an emerging threat scenario in our neighborhood and beyond, India was prepared for any conflict that it might face. On whether China could use Pakistani air bases, he said it would mean a collusive threat and the IAF was ready to tackle it. We are aware they are cooperating closely. There is significant threat, but so far there is no such indication that they are colluding for a two-front war, the Air Force chief said. Air Chief Marshal Bhadauria said the Rafale fighter jets that had arrived from France had given the IAF an operational and technological edge. Integration of the Rafales brings in a platform which is way ahead and gives the capability to strike first and deep in a contested airspace, he said. The 5 newly inducted Rafales, part of a 2016 deal for 36 jets, have been made operational in the Ladakh theater and have been carrying out sorties regularly. Replying to a question on whether the armed forces had been caught by surprise by the Chinese aggression in Ladakh, Air Chief Marshal Bhadauria said, "We acted swiftly and it will not be correct to say we were surprised. We do hope the talks between the military commanders continue on the expected lines. The Chinese troops are trying to dig in for the winter and we are also taking actions to set up air assets." So far both India and China have held a series of diplomatic and military talks to resolve the military standoff, but no breakthrough has been achieved as the Chinese troops have refused to withdraw from multiple areas it has intruded into since May. Top commanders of the two armies are scheduled to hold a fresh round of talks on October 12 with the specific agenda of firming up a roadmap for disengagement of troops from the friction points. India and China have deployed around 50,000 troops each along with heavy weaponry in the high-altitude region to deal with any eventuality. Besides the Rafales, the IAF has deployed almost all its frontline fighter jets such as the Sukhoi 30 Mki, Jaguar and Mirage 2000 aircraft at the key frontier air bases in eastern Ladakh and elsewhere along the LAC. The IAF has also been carrying out nighttime combat air patrols over the eastern Ladakh region. A military veteran said, "It is very much clear that dialogue is not working at all." Amid the continuing Chinese aggression, the Indian Army has no choice but to stay there in the winter in the most isolated battlefield in the world. Meanwhile, India has bought 36 Rafale fighters from France in a deal estimated to be worth $9.4 billion. All are scheduled to be delivered by the end of 2021. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said the combat jet's arrival marked the beginning of a new era in our military history. The jets will make the Indian Air Force much stronger to deter any threat that may be posed on our country, he added in a series of tweets. He did not directly name China, but media and observers said his comments were clearly aimed at the neighboring giant. If it is anyone who should be worried about or critical about this new capability of the Indian Air Force, it should be those who want to threaten our territorial integrity, Singh declared. Indian and Chinese forces have been in a 6-week-long standoff on their Himalayan border since a hand-to-hand battle in which 20 Indian troops were killed. China also suffered casualties in the showdown but has not given figures. The two sides blame each other for the clash in the Ladakh region and have since moved thousands of troops there while pursuing talks that they say aim to ease the tensions. India acknowledges it is behind China and other key nations in military firepower, and the purchase of the Rafale jets is one of many made in a bid to bolster its 1.4 million-strong army. New Delhi has also been eager to update its aging fighter jet force amid tensions with nuclear-armed neighbors China and Pakistan. Samir Patil, an international security studies expert at the Gateway House think tank, said the jets were a much-needed capacity booster. It will help India to deal with the heightened nature of the Chinese threat, as it becomes clear that the current territorial standoff in Ladakh will stretch into the winter months.